Try that again. All right, so tonight we're going to be starting with the sales application, right? So what I'm going to do is this week we're going to focus on accounts, contacts, customers, on the sales sides, opportunities, and then quotes and orders and invoices and so forth. We'll do a little bit of marketing lists and quick campaigns. I'm actually going to do quick campaigns now, and then marketing lists, I'm going to focus in the marketing app directly on that. Okay. So for tonight, we're going to focus on the main components of sales, and this is the lead, opportunity, and account process. Right. So if we're going to explain slightly lead, opportunity, account process, what do I mean by that? Let me just jump to the next slide. A lead is, if you could imagine, a bucket of contact names. Let's say, for example, you've got an entire list of contacts, but these are contacts, that's their name, their telephone number, their email address. It's, in essence, nobody you've ever spoken to before. It's merely a contact list, all right? And these contacts are people that are potential prospects or people that you want to do business with. So generally speaking, I'm going to use a call center as a scenario because a call center pretty much uses this to a T, this sales process to a T. So what happens is the call center receives a list of contacts or leads, as they call it, and then those leads go in to get distributed between the sales agents, and then the sales agents call these leads. And when they call the lead, they'll speak to the customer saying, you know what, we've got a promotion on X, Y, and Z product. Would you be interested in if we give you a quote? And if the customer says no, they disqualify the lead. And if the customer says, yes, tell me more about it, then they qualify the lead. All right. Once the lead is qualified, an opportunity and an account is automatically created. Now, an opportunity is where you actually start to engage in the sales process with a customer. So at this stage, thinking about the call center scenario, I'm on the phone with a customer. He said, yes, tell me about it. I qualify the lead. And now I start to quote him on the products. I add the products in and services and so forth. And now I've got a price. So I tell the customer, okay, the price is going to cost you X, Y, and Z a month. All right. The customer is either going to agree, in which case you set the opportunity to 1, or the customer is going to disagree, and you're going to set the opportunity to lost. All right. Then once the opportunity is won, you now have an active account, and against the active account, you can now run billing and so forth, right? And there's one more record that is actually created, which is the actual contact record. So the opportunity, a lead is created. As soon as the lead is qualified, it'll convert into an opportunity, and then a contact and an account is actually created. All right, so one thing is very, very important on this specific screen is the statuses. The status of lead being qualified or disqualified, opportunity being won or lost, or an account being active or inactive. Very, very important. So if you have intention to write your exams, this is something that they're definitely going to test you on to make sure that you understand the different statuses for different records. So there's 2 different types of statuses in CRM. There's a status and a status reason. So let me explain the difference. What you see on the screen now are what we call statuses. A status reason, for example. So let's say, for example, on the lead, I set it as disqualified. Now the status can be disqualified, but the status reason can be, why was it disqualified? Or on an opportunity, if I lost the sale, the status reason, the status is lost, and the status reason can be lost to competitor or price too high, so you can have status reasons to basically justify why the actual status was lost. And then with regards to the status of an account, it can be active or inactive. And again, you could also have a status reason for the account, which will define if it is active, is it an A account, a B account, a C account? You could give it that type of classification. If it's inactive, why is it inactive? Is it the guy doesn't pay his bills or whatever the case may be? So yes, every account has a status and a status reason. The ones you see on the screen now are what we call actual statuses, and then the status reason is a sub-definition. Okay, so let's actually go and see how this looks in CRM. So I'm just going to switch screens quickly, if you don't mind. Give me 1 second. I'm going to switch to a CRM now. Let me go to, if you don't mind, give me 1 second, guys, and then I just want to switch to another CRM. Okay. Okay, hold 1 second for me. So sorry for the delay. There we go. I'm just going to stop sharing so I can get an idea of which screen I'm actually sharing and not sharing here. Okay. Just 1 second. Let me get rid of this presentation and actually go and put the CRM that I want to show you actually onto the screen, and then we can take it from there. All right. There we go. And let me share the screen with you now. And there we go. Just in a second, the screen will actually come up. All right, great stuff. Let's go to our main application. That's this one over here. Yesterday, when we tried to log into this application, we actually got a bit of an error. And let's see if we manage to log in this time. You'll notice that the screenshot that I showed you is slightly different. Okay, and the reason why it's slightly different is the versions are different. So at this current state right now, if you're working on CRM, if your CRM looks like this, this is the latest version. If your CRM looks like this one, let me push this to the screen quickly so you'll be able to see. If your CRM looks like this, I think you'll be able to see it. Let me just make sure I share the correct screen with you. There we go. If your CRM looks like the one that I'm putting on top, this is version 9, but it's an older version. Okay, so this is the latest UI or user interface, and this is the older one. Okay, so most systems that you work on right now at this current point in time, you'll notice that you're going to be switching between the two, especially when it comes to doing the customization and so forth. All right, let's get out of there. All right, so let's go and see how this looks. So in our navigation lesson we learned yesterday, this is where we switch between the applications over here. All right, make sure that you can see the correct screen. I just want to double check that you can actually see the right screen, guys. Okay, yes you can. All right, so I want to switch to the sales application, and I want to go and create a lead. Okay, right, so what is a lead? A lead can be defined in a few ways really, but the most common way I like to define a lead is I meet a guy and he gives me his business card. All the information that's on the business card is name, telephone number, ID number. Oh, sorry, not an ID number. Name, telephone number, an email address, and some basic information, which company he works for. There's really, really little information on the lead. Okay, so if I click on new, it'll allow me to create a new lead. And in the lead, I'm going to give it a topic, right? So let's go and give it a topic over here. Let's click on topic. And we can say, what topic can we give it? Lead for new printers, for example. Okay, so I met a guy, gave me his business card. We had a brief chat about the printers that our company sells. Okay, type, I can say item-based, work-based, service and maintenance-based. So I'm going to say item-based because I'm thinking of selling him a printer. First name, let's say John, and John Black. His job title, so he's the buyer, for example. I'm going to put his business phone number. All right, and his mobile number. Okay, his email. Right, cool. So I got some basic information here. Which company is he with? I'm going to say that he's with, let's say, Printers Inc., for example. Let me spell that right. There we go. Let's just retype it. Cool. His website, if I got a website address, street address, I'm just going to use a street address here. So make sure it never overwrote my email address. There we go. Okay, so john.black@test.com. Fantastic. Okay. And I can obviously fill in some more information here, put in the country, for example. Happy days. Okay. Now, you'll know, then I'm going to save this lead. So now the lead is saved. So I can, in essence, I can do a number of things, right? I can either create a lead and then assign this lead to a salesperson, or alternatively, I can actually work on the lead myself, right? So if I want to assign it to another salesperson, on my command bar on the top here, I can click on assign. So what this essentially does is, because I created the lead, I own the lead, but if I want somebody else to work on it, let's say Sam, I can click on this, change it to user or team, then go to the lookup, and then it'll actually search for existing users in the system. So let's say I want to assign this lead to Nandis. I can select his name because he exists on the system and click on assign. Now, if Nandus goes into his leads now, after a couple of seconds, and he goes and selects, let me actually show you. If I go to leads, and you see it says my open leads here by default. If Nandus goes and he views my open leads now, he'll see John Black over here. But if I go to all leads, there's the John Black lead. Then you can see the owner of the lead is Nandus. All right. So that's really, really important, because what it allows you to do is it allows you to have one central repository for leads, and then you can distribute those leads, and how CRM manages who's working or who owns the lead is based on the actual owner record of that lead. All right, cool. So to open it, I'm going to click on the name, John Black. That opens it up. Now, one thing that's really, really important right in the center here is what we call the timeline. Okay, the timeline contains, well, a whole bunch of stuff, but let's actually go and check it out. So I can click on this plus. I can send him an email by clicking on email. I can set up and schedule an appointment, log a phone call. Now, the phone call one, let me explain this to you. Logging a phone call basically means I'm logging that I phoned and I spoke to him. It's not actually phoning the person per se. All right, so let's log a phone call. All right, so if I click on log phone call, it'll open a quick create form on the right. So let's say called to get appointment. Okay, and let's say I phoned him on this phone number, for example, and then I'm going to put a note here saying try to call, left message. All right, and there we go. Right, so now I've actually made a note that I've actually spoken to him. So if somebody else looks at this phone call record, they'll be able to see that that somebody spoke to this customer already. So very, very important one is that if a customer calls into a call center, for example, and I search for the lead inside CRM, if I go here to the timeline, I'll be able to see that this user, Byron, tried to contact this customer. It says, try to call, left a message. Now I know what actually happened. All right. From this, I can actually take this phone call activity over here and go and assign it to somebody else. So assigning, what you must understand about assigning is basically like bins. All right. So when I say bins, I mean, I've got my bin, Nandus has got his bin. And if I want Nandus to work on an item, I'll take the ownership of the lead and transfer it to Nandus. And then later on, if I want to, if I have my security permissions allow me to do so, I can go and take the lead back from Nandus if need be. All right. Obviously, there's a lot of things you're going to have to learn about security permissions and so forth, but we're just keeping it for the basics so that you get to understand. All right. Let's say I want to send the customer an email. I can click on the plus, go and click on email. And this is what's great about CRM, and probably one of my favorite features is the fact that I don't have to navigate outside CRM. I don't need to know what the person's email address is. I simply go to the person's account. It already maps that it's from me because I'm logged in. It knows who the customer is because, or the lead owner is, or the potential prospect, or whatever you want to call it. So I'm just going to put in a subject. Okay. Request for appointment. And then here we've got a rich text editor, right? So you have a design on the side here. So I can go and put in an email, say, Dear John, thank you for the meeting the other day. Okay. And then I can go and please let me know your ability for an appointment. Okay. Regards. Okay, Byron. Now, what's really cool, what I like about this new version, it also has an HTML editor. So although my email is already here, I can actually go over here and click on my HTML editor. So these are for the super advanced guys. So if you want to be able to actually edit the content of this email using HTML, you can do so. So let's say, for example, I want to insert a button. All right, so use a button tag. Now, this is not something that a common user is going to do, and this is something that you'd probably rather want to set up in an email. In a template, right? But if you want, you could go and insert a HTML elements into the actual email. So I'm just going to give you an idea of what it does. Okay. Complete survey. And then let's say, for example, I go and put in a link over here. Somebody who knows HTML will know what I'm talking about. You go and put a JavaScript command like on click equals, and then go and put in a command over here that does that. All right. So now if I go back to my designer, you'll see in my bottom of my email, there'll be this button over here that'll be able to perform their functions, right? Okay, I can do things like go and put in, I can go and put in all kinds of fancy things. I can go and change colors. I can do all kinds of stuff. Okay. So your HTML designer gives you full view. If I click on preview, it actually lets me see what the email looks like before I actually send it, right? So over here, you got a desktop preview. We'll show what it looks like when a person reads your email on a desktop, on a tablet, on tablet rotated the other way, on a mobile phone, and mobile phone rotated the other way. So it gives you a lot of control of what you want to be able to do. So I'm going to go back to my designer. There we go. And I'm simply just going to click on send. And then it'll send the email. So why do I like this? Because I'll show you right now. If you go down, you'll actually see over here, it gives me a request for appointment. That's the subject of the email. My email is saved inside the lead. So what it means is all the activities, including emails, appointments, tasks, notes, and everything, are contained directly inside your timeline control. Right. So it's a central folder for everything. So I don't have to go search my email on my PC to try and find this information. Right. Okay. I hope that makes sense, right? Next, we want to be able to add a note. Let's say, for example, I want to upload a copy of his business card, right? So I can put let's say, business card. I can put in a note here, copy of business card, right? And then click on add note. My apologies. We weren't supposed to just add the note just like that. Let's go and edit note. I wanted to actually upload a file. So here's a little paperclip over here. We can just click on the paperclip, and it'll allow me to go and select a file and click on OK, and then save, and that file will be saved in my notes. So I can refer back to it. A lot of customers like to use this for documents, proposals, leads, quotes. Anything that you want to upload and save, you can save it. Very, very important. You might want to take special note of this, is that when you save documents in CRM's current default state, the documents and attachments as well as CRM records will all save to CRM's default storage, okay, which is your storage allocated for CRM. And normally that storage is very, very little. Okay, so I stand to be corrected, but I think when you deploy your brand new CRM instance, you get about 10 gigabytes of storage. Now, 10 gigabytes of storage, most people think, oh gosh, that's too little. If it's clean, just CRM records, it's actually a lot. You can hold a huge amount of CRM records. The problem comes in is when you start uploading files. So it's best to activate your Sharepoint integration, number one, and then activate your OneDrive. So SharePoint first, then OneDrive. And once you activate those two, then when you upload documents, the documents will store directly in OneDrive immediately. Okay, so it won't take up the storage that is actually meant for your CRM data. Okay. All right, and that's it basically for a lead. On the top of the lead, we have something called a business process. So it's a lead to opportunity process. Now, a process you need to think of is a guided process to make sure that whenever somebody checks a lead, the user that's working on the lead, it's like a checklist of everything. Has everything been done? Is this an existing contact? Right? Yes or no? Do they have an existing account? Yes or no? Purchase time frame. What is their time frame? Let's say unknown. Is there an estimated budget that you've established with the prospect? Is there a purchase process? Okay. So let's say, is it an individual, a committee, or unknown? Let's say unknown for now. Identified decision maker. I've done that. Okay. Capture summary. So here's a summary. And then I simply click on next stage. So what this basically means is that it is my checklist of items that I need to that I'm basically saying that I've actually completed. All right, let's actually go and save this record. You'll also notice there's a timer there, so it actually tells me how long I've been at each stage. So we can actually see how quickly Just want to see, oh, there we go, existing account. No, there's no existing account. Next stage. Okay. Right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and qualify this lead now, right? So let's say the customer is interested. So we go and select qualify. Now watch what happens. You notice on the top over here it says lead. Now watch very carefully what happens. You notice it switched over to an opportunity. All right. So if we remember from the presentation I showed you, what happened is as soon as a lead is qualified, it converts that lead into an opportunity. Okay. Now, if we go to our leads, the lead is still there. If we go to all leads, for example, here's the lead. But you'll look in the bottom left corner over here, you'll actually see the lead status is in a qualified status. And now the information in the lead is set in a read-only state, so it can't be edited. All right. You'll also see my lead stage 1 is qualified. All right. And now I'm working on actually developing this lead. So let's go to my opportunities. Here I'm in the opportunity now. There we go. All right. So in the opportunity, I'm now going to actually start building this quote. All right. So there's a lot more information over here. Let's go look at what the business process says. Customer need, new printer, for example. Proposed solution, let's say yes, or I can put in the details of the solution that I've proposed, for example. Identify stakeholders, I've done that. Identify competitors, yes, I've done that. Click on next stage to move on, right? Fantastic. Okay. Now, it's not mandatory that somebody has to use the business process. Some businesses use it, some businesses don't. Okay. You'll notice as well, everything is already filled in. So I'm on the opportunity form at the moment. It's still got the same topic. It's got the same contact. So this is very important. It's got the same contact, the person that we spoke about, but now it also has an account. So remember previously, we only created a lead, but what is automatically being created is a contact record as well as a account record, and the opportunity record was created. It's taken my default currency from my profile. I'm going to put in a budget amount now. So let's say 10,000 Rand is my budget. All right. Purchase process. Let's say I've now found out that there's just a single customer that wants the product. Okay, cool. And current situation, I can go make some notes there, what products he wants, and so forth. All right. Okay, so let's say we're happy with that. I'm going to save this. Okay. Let's go to product line items. Okay. Now with the product line items, you can either add a price list. Okay, so it'll look up and it'll give you a price list, right? So we have retail price list, we have products and packages and so forth. I'm going to get into how price list works on a different lecture, but basically you have a price list. So you can have a retail price list, a wholesale price list, and then obviously you can have how the revenue is actually calculated, right? And then over here, we click on add opportunity line item. So if we click on that, what it's doing is it's going to give me an opportunity to add a product, okay? Or add an opportunity. Just give me 1 second. I just want to double check something. Okay, I just want to go one step back here quickly. One thing you'll learn with CRM is the amount of updates that happen on a continuous basis is a lot. Okay. All right. All right. So previously on other versions that I worked with, when you clicked on that, it gave me an option to, how can I say? I'll show you now. It normally gives you an option to either add existing product from a catalog or add a product that is from a write-in product. Okay, so let's go and see how this works. You guys are going to see this for the very first time with me. Okay, so let's call this an A100 printer. Okay, so this is a validity period. Okay, service amount or service account. We're going to say this is for the, what did we call that account? We call this account, sorry, I have to go back one more time. I just forgot what we actually called this account. The customer's account. Over here. Okay, so it's customer Pty Limited, right? Okay. All right, so let's go and add something over here, and let's put in customer. There it is there. So that's now we're connecting the product to the account. A100 printer. Cool. Which price list is it from? So I'm going to go and put in, let me pick a price list, retail. Okay. Estimated value, let's say 1,200. Right. And then I'm going to go save and close. Okay. A required, it's telling me there's a required field that I missed here somewhere. Oh, the quantity. It's asking me for a required field that's not on the form. That's interesting. So you'll see on the top here, there's a required field. Okay, so this is giving me an error and it will not let me save it until I actually resolve this error. Right. So we've given the product a description, which we've done, start date, end date, duration. Okay, and then we've connected to account, the price list, and so forth. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to change the form so that I possibly was on the wrong form. Okay, there we go. Select a product, existing product. There we go. All right. I'm so sorry about that, guys. That's quite a severe change in CRM. It's the first time I've actually seen this, and that's quite cool. So to save you the confusion, I'm just going to take a step back. I'm going to exit out of here and just give you a demonstration on the difference between the two to show you why that one caught me a little bit off guard. To do that, I'm just going to show you in a different CRM quickly, because most of the CRMs that are currently deployed will have a different kind of feel to it. So I'm going to go to sales, and I'm going to go to opportunities. Okay. Then if I go to new opportunity over here, you're going to see how it works a bit different. So you're going to have to get used to this as a person who is becoming a CRM consultant, is that these constant changes, and that looks like quite a major change. So that one's quite important to note. Okay. So I'm creating an opportunity from scratch here, and I want to go and see how demonstrate necessarily how the opportunity product actually works. Okay. So over here, if I click on this plus, okay, I'm going to select retail, save the record, and then click on the plus over here. Okay, you see there it says existing product or write-in product. So if I say existing product, that means I'm choosing from a catalog. If I say write-in product, it means I'm going to create the product on the fly. So I'm not necessarily creating a product from an actual catalog itself. So if I go write-in product over here, then it'll ask me for a product name. So I say ABC service, for example. And then I can put in a price per unit, let's say 1,300. And then here we go, and we can actually go and save that, and then it'll give you an extended amount of 1,300. So that's the old way. All right. The brand new way is, let me go back to it now. Share. So I'm going to make sure you guys are looking at the correct screen. Give me 1 second. All right. So I just want to double check to make 100% sure. Yeah, you're definitely looking at the right screen. Okay. So on the opportunities, open opportunities over here. Okay, so the opportunity, I can't remember what we called this opportunity. So I'm going to go to the lead, and I'm going to go and search for the lead that way. So I'm going to go to all leads over here. I know we were dealing with John Black, and this is currently in I'll go to the develop side. You'll see it switches to the opportunity. And by the way, it never used to do that previously. Previously, you'd actually switch between the opportunity and lead form. Okay, so let's go down. We want to go and add the products and line items. Okay. Now, click on the new. So here's where it's different. remember, it didn't give me that fly down. So I'm going to, it's asking me here, or it's stating this toggle button is saying that it's an existing product, meaning it's an existing product from an existing catalog. I'm just going to go switch that to write in. So write in is a very common method, especially for services, right? Let's say service printer, all right? And the price per unit is, let's say, 1,000 Rand. The quantity is 1, so I'm going to build, let's say, 1 hour, for example. Is there any manual discount? Let's say 10%. Is there any tax? No. Or sorry, not 10%, 10 Rand. Let's give them 100 Rand discount, right? Okay. And then that's it. All right, so we can go straight and save and close. And let's see how that looks on our opportunity line item. All right. So there you can see the extended amount comes across as 900. All right. So we price per unit was 100 or 1,000. Quantity is 1. Discount is 100 Rand, and then our extended amount is 900. All right. And there we go. There's your details on your opportunity and and so forth. Okay. Now, let's say, for example, I want to create a quote. We go to the quotes tab over here. Now, because we already have an account, we have a contact, we have an opportunity, we've added product line items and so forth. If I go ahead and click on Add Quote, you watch what CRM does. Okay. I don't know if you noticed, but I just want to switch this to quote. So what I'm actually doing, guys, is I'm switching between what they call forms. So these are different forms that are exposed. So forms is this layout over here. Okay. So take a look at and note something. A quote number has been generated. The original topic from the original lead has carried all the way through. The currencies here, the price list is here. The amount for the quote is already done. The product and service that I've added is already here. The potential customer, the opportunity is connected. I can add in a description. Let's say 30-day quote. All right. And then I can save this. All right. So once I save it, and then obviously the billing address and so forth would have pulled through had I completed it on the actual account, right? Okay, cool. Now, once a quote is created, the quote is in a draft state. Don't forget that. All right. So you'll see over here it says quote is in a draft state. Very, very important to remember the state, also the transition of states. Now that I'm ready to present this quote to a customer, I'm going to click on Activate Quote. Okay. Now the quote is active. You'll see the status on the bottom left has changed to active. I'm now ready. I've given the customer the quote, and now the customer is ready for me to create an order. So the customer's in essence accepted the quote. So I'll go click on Create Order. And again, CRM will carry everything over. But there's one step before. So it says here, create order. So use this quote to create an order. Status 1. Date 1 is today. Description, I can add a description. Do you want to close the opportunity? Yes. And do you want to calculate the actual revenue? Yes. Okay, let's click on OK. So now the CRM is going to go and close my opportunity as 1. It's going to generate the order. And there we go. We're in the next stage now. All right, so look at where we are. We're in an order. So now the order's been generated, and we're ready, and the order status is active. So now the product is being picked and ready to go, and now I can go and create an invoice. So click on Create Invoice on your command bar. And there is your invoice already created. Okay, now, final thing on the invoice is on the top here where I've got invoice paid, or cancel invoice, or recalculate. So the difference between them is if I confirm the invoice, so I can click on confirm. So I'm saying, okay, cool, it's right. Now you'll see it's no longer there anymore, so I've confirmed that the invoice is correct. I can go and click on invoice paid, and it says they've paid the complete amount or they've paid a partial amount. So in other words, if I click on complete, it'll actually go and mark this as done, paid, finished, end of process. If I say cancel invoice, it'll cancel it. If I say recalculate, I could recalculate because I've gone and added additional products in here and so forth, right? Okay. Or if I go and add a discount, let's say of 5%, and I save this, okay, it's gone and reduced it even more. I can go and click on the recalculate button. It'll rerun these calculations to make sure everything is correct. All right. Now let's go and mark it as paid. So click on invoice paid. And this time we're just going to say it's fully paid. So we're going to mark it as complete. Okay. Your status on the bottom here is now invoice is in a paid state. So very important, guys, through that entire process, what you've just seen, from the time a lead was generated till it was converted into an opportunity, the opportunity was then, a quote was created. So we added products, then we created a quote, and then after the quote was accepted, we created an order became an invoice, and then an invoice either gets paid or unpaid or partially paid in steps, and then once it's fully paid. What I've just demonstrated to you is the end-to-end process from right in the beginning of creating a lead all the way to the end till it's actually finally invoiced. That's the entire process from end to end. So the second question is what happens if I get a call from this very same customer? So let me go to the customer's account. Remember yesterday I said that you can click on any blue item and it's actually a link directly to that place. So where it says customer over here, if I click on this, it actually takes me straight into their account. All right. Now, while I'm looking at the customer's account, I can see the customer's information. I can look at the timeline, and this is quite interesting. Have a look at the timeline. It says today, Byron won an opportunity for an account customer Pty Limited for 900. Congratulations. Okay, so that goes onto the wall post, right? So the wall post, people will be able to see all that stuff that's going on, right? Here it says opportunity closed by Byron just now, closed opportunity lead for new printers. Everything is being posted and recorded inside this company's account, right? Every single thing, emails that went out, the whole lot. All right, cool. So that's quite awesome, right? Okay. The next thing is this customer calls me again and says, you know what? What I actually want is I would like to purchase a brand new PC from your company. So now it's not just a how can I say, a one product that he wanted. Now, because this customer is an existing customer, essentially what I'm going to do is I'm not going to create a lead anymore. I'm going to go and start straight on an opportunity. So if I go to related from within the account and I scroll down here, I should be able to find opportunities. There we go. And click on opportunities. It's going to show me a list of existing opportunities, but you can see this opportunity is in one state. Okay. So I just go click add new opportunity. It'll open a quick create form. It connects it to the correct account. And then I'd say, give it a topic, say new PC required. Okay. Item based or work based. I'm just going to say item based. Contact. Contact. All right, it's going to ask me for who is the person that's there. And if I remember correctly, this is John Black is the person that I'm talking to. Contracting unit. Okay. I don't think there's any loaded here, so I'm not going to connect that. Budget amount, he's given me a budget of 2,000 Rand for a PC. Okay, and customer needs a new PC for reception. Okay, save and close. Now a new opportunity is created. Right, and there you'll see the status is in progress. So if I click on the subject for the opportunity, let's go through that end-to-end process very quickly now, right? Here we go. We've got an opportunity, okay? And we're going to go add a product line item. So let's go do that. So product line items for the new PC. And let's say we beat the price, right? So let's go and add here. Sorry, I must select a price list first. Right. I'm going to go right in, okay? And price per unit, I'm going to say 1, and the quantity, price per unit, sorry. Let's give them 1,900, and the quantity is 1 PC. There we go. No discounts. Okay, and then save and close. What did I forget? Okay, there we go. Right in product. Basic desk top PC. All right. There we go. It'll help if I put the product name in. Okay, save and close. Great stuff. Now, PC's in, and we're ready to we can save this. And what's the next step? We want to create a quote, right? So we can go to the quotes tab, click on add new quote. Our quote is generated. Activate the quote, right? Customer's happy, he's ready to take the product. Create order. So we want to close the quote as 1, or the order as 1, right? Give it a description. Customer is happy. Close the opportunity, yes. So it'll close the opportunity as 1. Recalculate the actual revenue on the quote, yes. And click on OK. There we go. An order is created. And the customer receives delivery as a product. And we go and create an invoice. Our invoice is created. Confirm, yes, we're happy with the invoice. And then customer pays us. Click on invoice paid. And either complete or partial payment. Right, let's go say partial, right? Partial payment. Okay. Cool. And there we go. And then let's go and let's refresh it. And there we go. Okay. So there you guys have seen the end-to-end process of how this thing actually works, right? So it's pretty straightforward. However, I must mention, and you'll notice a lot of people that'll teach you CRM will tell you the same thing, is that when you are working in CRM natively, so CRM itself is not an ERP system, right? So yes, you have the ability to create orders and quotes and invoices and so forth, which you can do from CRM. Natively, you would go and deploy finance and operations, and inside finance and operations, you will get the full actual ERP package, which allows you to connect to bank accounts and run journals and trial balances and so forth inside the ERP side, right? So on this side here, we're giving the basic context of what it can do, but we do not recommend that a customer uses the native CRM without finance and operations as an ERP system, because it doesn't have that functionality as out of the box as it comes. Although, yes, you can draw up invoices and quotes and so forth. Right. Now, one thing that does come up quite often is that people ask me, so what if I want to send a customer a copy of the actual quote itself? All right. So you can do that, of course. So if I go to the opportunity itself, right, and then I want to go to, let's go all opportunities. Okay, so obviously there's a ton of opportunities inside here. So I'm just going to go the other route so I don't have to struggle to find it. I'm going to go to my actual opportunity for John Black over here. All right, so inside this opportunity, we know there is a quote associated with this, right? So this is the lead. Sorry, let me go to the next stage. Here's my opportunity. Okay. And in the opportunity is a quote. Okay, so there's the actual quote over there. So I'm going to open this quote. Now, let's say for argument's sake, I wanted to actually print this and I wanted to give the customer a copy. Okay, so if I wanted to give the customer a copy of this, how can I say, quote in a Word document, you would do that through using Word templates. So if I click on this download, it'll give me the option to upload template, download template, or print a quote for customer, or my personal templates over here. So in other words, I would go and first download a template, create my own template, which I'm going to show you guys when we do customization and configuration. Or you could use the out-of-the-box one. The out-of-the-box ones are really plain. So if I go and click on print quote for customer, it takes the information inside here and goes and puts it into a Word document. And then I can open that and I'll show you what it looks like. Okay. I'm just going to share that on my screen with you so you can see how the document actually came out. There we go. You should be able to see it now. I'm going to click on Enable Editing. And it can say there to customer, dear customer, I'm sending you this quote, and it's got the quote details and so forth in it, the quote number. So it nicely prepares it. Obviously, what I like to do is I like to put in my own logos and my own colors and fonts, and then I can go and map this information the way that I want the information to be mapped. Okay. So let's switch back to the other screen now. And there we go. All right, cool. All right, so guys, just to explain, why would I want to go through such a complex sales process? All right, a complex sales process of create a lead, and then I create an opportunity, and after I've created an opportunity, I either qualify that opportunity as won or lost and so forth. All right, so let me explain why. And you always hear me referring back to a call center. Let's say, for example, I bought 1,000 leads. So 1,000 leads. So 1,000 names, telephone numbers, and so forth. Out of the 1,000 leads, how many of these leads were qualified and disqualified, right? So let's out of 1,000 leads, 500 were immediately disqualified and the other 500 were qualified, okay? So that means I've got a 50% conversion rate of my leads. And then of the qualified leads, I want to now know how many of these turned into opportunities, and of the opportunities, what's the current value. Now, the reason why that's important is because, remember, an opportunity has a status of in progress. So if I wanted to see how much business my team or my company is working on at this very moment right now, I can go and look at the opportunities and what the current in progress sales value is. All right, so I can look at all the opportunities and what is the amounts that my team is busy quoting. So I get an idea of what is the potential income that's going to be coming in throughout the course of this month. I can also look at what the lost opportunities are and how much revenue we actually lost. All right. So in the end, is you get this trail from the beginning, from telephone number right through to invoice and sale, to say, this is how much it actually cost me to buy this data. And from the data that I've bought, I can measure what my conversion percentages are. So I can actually get a measurable metric when I'm done to what is the actual quality of this business that I've actually purchased. Okay. I hope that makes sense, guys. If you have any questions, please do me a favor, send me an email. I'll answer any questions you have regarding the lead opportunity and sales process. I know it's a little bit to get your head wrapped around. There is a lot more functions when it comes to this, but I'm just giving you the basic outline. I am going to release a lot more video content on this and little tips and tricks and so forth. But remember, the idea for this course is to give you the ABCs of Dynamics so you get to understand the basic components and where to find these components so that you're actually able to work in CRM. I do encourage you to keep on practicing. Send me an email. I'm here to support you and help you to grow and learn CRM as fast as possible. I see I have a question in the chat box. Let me just see. Okay, no, that's perfect. All right. So for now, thank you for joining me tonight. I really appreciate it. And if you guys do have any questions, please, I would appreciate you guys emailing me and connecting with me. I'm here to help you make your journey or your transition into CRM as easy as possible. All right. So I got a question here from Nanda. Says, to get back to the earlier mentioned SharePoint OneDrive connection, how would you link it? Just a quick one to go about it. All right, cool. Okay, so how do you link it? All right, quite simple. All right, so first of all, in your admin center, you need to have OneDrive and SharePoint. That's the first thing, right? You need to have it as part of your license. So generally speaking, in the current setup that I've got, Dynamics and as well as Office 365. So once these are up and running, cool. Now I can go into CRM, right? And I'm actually going to show you in a different CRM. And the reason I'm going to show you in a different CRM, to be 100% honest, is because this new CRM, they've moved everything around. So I'm not going to try and struggle to find it in this one. I'm rather just going to show you in one I know exactly where it is, so I don't keep you guys on the call for too long. All right, so let me go and share this screen with you quickly. I actually think you can see the screen. Yeah. All right, can you guys can see the screen here? This is the old Dynamics UI. Can you just confirm you can see it? Yes? Okay, yeah, cool. All right. So we're going to go to settings over here. All right, once you're in settings, I'm going to go to document management. Once I'm in here, you will see that I'm going to go document management settings. We're just waiting for it to load. Right, so this is the entities that I'm going to enable for document management. So I think in this case, on this specific one, I enabled the contact for document management, right? And then obviously once I enable it and click next, it'll give me the SharePoint site. Okay, click next. It'll go and enable it, right? And then it'll show me the base entity. It'll confirm that my URL is actually valid. Click on next. Okay, and then it tells me here that it's creating the document libraries inside SharePoint. So I'm going to click on cancel because I know it's already created. All right, and then it'll give you a whole list of all the document libraries that are created. Okay, once that's done, I can go and click on Enable OneDrive for Business. So this one is quite important, right? Because you'll notice, and I remember when I did my exams, they asked me a lot of questions around this specific thing, all right? Where they asked me about what do you need to do to enable OneDrive. The very first the question is you need to enable SharePoint. If you don't enable SharePoint, OneDrive is not going to work because the OneDrive is actually saving your information on the SharePoint site. Okay. I'm not going to continue on this because this is actually a live environment, but I will go and enable this and click on OK. So how does it actually look? Is if I go in, I go to a contact, for example. I'm just going to open a contact over here. Now just open any contact. Now this is the actual contact form. If I go to the drop-down arrow over here and then I go to documents on the related entity, this is where you'll see all the documents that are saved in the document repository. So here you can actually see a copy of the actual application that was actually saved, and it's saved in the SharePoint site. Okay, so it saves all the documents here. Likewise, if I go back to the contact over here, right, and then if I switch to a normal, this contact form has been modified. I think it's at the bottom of the form. Let me just check. There should be a timeline. There we go. So if I go to notes, if I go and save a note here, this note will now actually, it won't be saving in CRM. It'll actually be saving on the SharePoint site. Okay. I'm just going to switch back to my other one. Let me get rid of this. 1 second, guys. All right, and share. Oh, there we go. You are still seeing the correct screen. Okay, cool. So I hope that gives you some insights. I'm going to play around with this one and see if I can find where the actual settings are. I think they're possibly over here in advanced settings. So they've moved a lot of the settings around from the old environment that the whole world is used to, and then the new environment, everything's basically being moved around. I'll just show you now where this one opens. You'll see it's actually opening in the old user interface, right? So go here, go to document management, right? No, that was data management, sorry. Document management settings. There we go. You can actually see that most of them are actually already all enabled. Let's go in and enable the contact entity quickly. There's the contact over there. Click on next. Right. Base entity. I'm going to go and click on contact. Next. Okay. Let's just wait for that to finish. And now it's busy creating the libraries. And there we go. You can see all the libraries are busy creating it's basically creating the libraries in your SharePoint site. And this will take some time to finish. Okay. All right. And then the last step after this is complete is go and enable OneDrive for Business, and you're done. All right. And then when I actually go, you can see most of them are succeeded. That's great. Click on finish. And that's it. The last thing to do, and I didn't really want to show you guys this because I know that some of the stuff can be a little bit heavy, especially for someone who's very new, but you need to actually enable a entity for document management, right? So let me find an unmanaged solution here. I don't think there will be one. There's a common data service over there. All right, so let me show you one more thing quickly. I'm going to go to customizations. So customize the system. Okay. I'm going to go to my entities over here. So this is actually where we do all our customization. So this is the piece I didn't really want to show you right now, but let's show you anyway. So I click on contact. Okay. There's a setting over here called document management. This must be enabled in order for you to be able to access the saving documents to your SharePoint site, right? So if this is not checked, you won't be able to save documents to your SharePoint site. If you want to add teams as well, sorry, OneNote, you can add OneNote. So when you add notes, it writes it straight into your notebook. So that is really, really cool. So by checking this, you can actually add OneNote. You can also add teams, so you can collaborate within teams from within a CRM record and vice versa. To activate it, you just check it, save it, and then publish your changes. Okay. Right, guys, we're pretty much out of time for tonight. Tomorrow night, I'm going to continue on how can you say, on sales. I'm going to show you guys how to create goals. I'm going to show you guys, I think tomorrow we're doing products, if I'm not mistaken. So how to create price list products and different packages that you can actually sell to customers. So that'll be quite an exciting one. I know that the first time I learned about that, it was quite hectic. All right, so thank you for joining me tonight, guys. Until tomorrow, enjoy your evening. Thank you, Nandis. Chat to you guys soon.